Hola, hoy vamos a estudiar las conjugaciones en el pretérito de los verbos ER y R. Qué suerte que los verbos ER y R en el pretérito son iguales. La forma yo de todos los verbos ER y R es I. Tú, iste, él, usted, yo, nosotros, imos, vosotros, istáis, ellos, ellas, ustedes, hierron. Unas observaciones importantes. Primero, hay un acento sobre la I en la forma yo y también sobre la O en la forma él, usted. También observen que todas las conjugaciones empiezan con una I. So all of these conjugations start with an I, which is really important to remember. So it's imos, I, iste, yo, imos, istais, hierron. If you have a couple minutes, you can go ahead and click on this link to watch this video to help you remember the conjugations of the pretérito ER y R. Por ejemplo, el verbo comer significa to eat. La forma yo de comer es comí. Tú comiste, él, usted comió, nosotros comimos, vosotros comisteis, ellos, ellas, ustedes comieron. Comer es un verbo ER. Escribir es un verbo IR. La forma escribir significa to write. En la forma yo, escribí, escribiste, él, usted escribió, escribimos, escribisteis, escribieron. So the same endings as the verb comer, which is an ER verb, will be found for an IR verb, which is really convenient and much easier to remember. Primero tienen que observar que la conjugación en la forma nosotros de los verbos IR en el pretérito es igual que las conjugaciones en el presente. Tienen que recordar el contexto para saber la diferencia. So we do use an imos ending for IR verbs in the present tense as well as the pretérito. So you have to pay attention to context. So, por ejemplo, recibimos el premio ayer. We know that it's not saying we received the prize. It's we received because of the word ayer, which means yesterday, so we know it's in the past. Los verbos dar y ver se llaman gemelos o también rimos. Verbos rimos. Verbs that rhyme. The rhymer verbs is what we'll more commonly call them in my class. To form these verbs, primero van a perder la parte final, AR o IR, y tienen las conjugaciones iguales que los verbos ER y R. Di, diste, dio, dimos, distais, dieron. So even though dar is an AR verb, it looks just like an IR, ER verb because it has the same ending. And dar and ver rhyme, which is why we call them the rhymers. So di vi, diste viste, dio vio, etc. The one important observation and difference between ver and other ER verbs, hopefully you make the observation, there are no acentos. Okay, so to say, my friend gave me a gift. So we're going to use the verb dar to give. And hopefully remember the word gift is regalo. So, mi amigo me dio un regalo. So dar is as an eo ending because my friend is the one doing the gift giving. They saw a lot of beautiful jewelry at the open air market. Now the verb to see in the pretérito significa es ver. En el pretérito they saw, so we're going to find the ellos, ellas, ustedes form of the verb ver. They saw a lot of beautiful jewelry. Ellos vieron muchas joyas bonitas al mercado al aire libre. So again, here we have vieron because it's the ellos, ellas, ustedes form of the verb ver. Otras excepciones. So we have our regular ER, IR verb endings. I, iste, io, imos, istais, hierron. And we went over ver and ir, which are called rhymers. The next group of verbs that we are going to learn about are called soul verbs. So these are verbs that stem change. They are only IR verbs that stem change. There are no AR verbs nor ER verbs that stem change in the preterito. Y solamente van a cambiar en unas formas del preterito. We call these the soul, and the reason will be clear hopefully in a moment. We only stem change these verbs in the él, usted, and ellos, ellas, ustedes forms, which is the sole of the shoe. So if you think back about the boot that you learned about in Spanish 1, now we're just the sole of that boot, so the bottom two parts of the table. So IR verbs change from E to I and O to U, which you've seen this before. You saw this when you were looking at presente progresivo. And dormir, for example, didn't change to duermiendo, it changed to durmiendo. So hopefully it's a little familiar to you. Pedir, en el preterito, pedir significa to ask for. Pedí, pediste, pidió. Pedimos, pedisteis, pidieron. So whilst we used to stem change in the boot, now we stem change in the soul, which just means the bottom two portions of our table. The él, usted, and the ellos, ellas, ustedes form, the E changed to an I. Por ejemplo, what did they ask for at the market? ¿Qué pidieron en el mercado? So they are doing the asking. So it's the ellos, ellas, ustedes form, and since it is ellos, ellas, ustedes, the E's change to I. Un verbo stem changing O to U. Por ejemplo, dormir. Y, iste, yo, imos, istes, hierron otra vez, pero ahora en la forma él, usted, y ellos, ellas, ustedes, tenemos una U. So we don't say dormió, we say durmió. Por ejemplo, Zulma slept 10 hours last night. Zulma, she is sleeping. So we have to find the él, usted form of the verb dormir. And because it's él, usted, if you recall, that's in the sole of the shoe. So it's found in this section. And when it's in the sole, we stem change. E to I, O to U, only in the sole of the shoe. Durmió. Ok, tengo más ejemplos de los verbos stem changing, de los verbos E a I. Y pueden ver esta lista. Tenemos preferir, servir, vestirse, competir, y seguir. So you need to know what these verbs mean, and you need to hopefully understand that how they stem change. Prefirió instead of preferio. So the underlined vowel in the verb tells us which one needs to be stem changed. It's always the second to last vowel. Here we are again, of the main verb, I should say. Vestir, competir, and seguir. And note the stem change. If these are in the yo form and the nosotros form, etc., there is no stem change. Por ejemplo, who competed in the championship? We're talking about quiénes. That's more than one person. So we use the ellos, ellas, ustedes form of the verb to compete. So check back on the previous slide if you're not sure. The verb competir. And we're talking about ellos, ellas, ustedes again. So we're going to use the verb compitieron, the form of the verb. We competed and won. So now we're in the nosotros. Nosotros doesn't stem change. It never stem changes, but it doesn't stem change in the soul either. So we don't have to change the E to I. So it'd be like a regular IR verb ending in the preterito. Y, iste, yo, imos. Competimos.